Hi, my name is Dr. Beth Michalec. I am so happy to be part of the WVU IMC team, and I have the privilege to teach the marketing research course, and I've also taught a few courses in the undergrad PR minor sequence. Oh, that's a good question. And I've thought a lot about my why, right? We always have a purpose. We talk about organizationally, individually, what's your why? And for me, the why comes down to a little bit of both personal and professional mix. Personally, I am proud to be an alumnus of the WVU IMC program. I was the second class that went through. It has gone through so many iterations and grown so rapidly. And I've really always appreciated the way the IMC program, the DMC program, the master's degree as a whole has been practical, and it helped spark an interest for me that really paved the pathway into my career, into higher ed, into my doctoral program. And so working with students allows me to reach back and help other students kind of like I was a few years ago. And I really appreciate the opportunity to work with the mix of students that the program brings in, the marketplace professionals who have 2, 5, 7, 10 years of experience and knowledge, and they're looking to improve their skill sets and establish themselves as industry leaders. And then you have the mix of students who are recently out of undergrad, looking to build that baseline novice knowledge that will help position them for better jobs, better opportunities, to go from the early professional into opportunities for leadership. And so I really love reaching back, helping people that I see reflected in my own journey, and helping myself stay relevant and current in industry practice, and working with those current industry leaders and those future industry leaders. So I hope that what I bring to the classroom, what the students bring to the classroom, really becomes a collaborative give and take, that we each learn from each other. That's so tough. Bringing the real world into the online classroom space, because our interactions are limited to either discussion boards or videos or the occasional office hours, it's challenging. And I think it's helpful that my professional memberships are very actively involved with maintaining currency. So I have membership in the American Advertising Federation. I have membership in the Public Relations Society of America. I also have the academic memberships in the National Communication Association. So I really rely on what's coming out of those associations to share with students. I also have a really strong marketplace network that will ping me on things. It's the rare week that I don't have a text or a phone call or an email that says, hey, this is going on. I'd love to get your quick take on it. And then those are the conversations that I can share in my classes. And I always encourage my students, if you're going through something in your jobs, if there's something happening in industry, let's talk about it. This is a collaborative learning environment. You're doing the work, I'm doing the work, but the way we might think about things is probably going to be from different perspectives and lenses. So let's utilize the marketplace and bring it into our classroom as a learning lab. And their examples, my examples, on the occasion that I can bring in guest speakers, I think it really enriches the opportunity. And then, of course, when we have those opportunities to meet face-to-face, whether it's in sponsored events or in office hours or IMC small conference seminar sections, having that interaction, that pre-established relationship to then open those conversations to get those different hot takes really becomes valuable and meaningful. I think it's important and also challenging to engage with the students right from the start in the introductions. I'm looking for points of commonality. So if students like sports or traveling or where their hometowns are located, I try to find those little nuggets of relatability. And sometimes it can be as simple as, hey, I'm a dog mom, or I have 2 crazy kids on the way. And I see those points the students are sharing, and I can relate to having pets around, or I have 2 toddler nephews who are very time demanding. And Some of them will say, I am into this musical genre, or I really love that movie. And it becomes sort of a building block or a stepping stone to create that interpersonal relationship. And it also comes through the quality of work. I have a unique perspective in that I'm working in the research course, and I get the idea in the sense where students might have the potential that they're really going to be effective in marketplace. But there's one in particular that I worked with a year ago, and I reached out to her privately and I emailed her and I said, I think you've got a lot of potential in this area, in this space, whether you want to work in the marketplace or even might consider additional learning. I could see you getting a PhD. Fast forward a year, and the student, who is now a former student, just emailed me this morning and asked me to write her a recommendation letter for a doc program. And she also shared that she's excited about seeing Taylor Swift, and she's excited about all of these new developments in her life, and was asking for some advice, some insight. And it's been a year since I've had this student in class. I'm usually a one and done within the program, where I get to work with the students in one 7-week session. And so to be able to continue those relationships, and of course this student is the only one, it's just a good example, allows me to relate to the students on a human level. You know, I'm the child of 2 teachers, and growing up was always interesting when we'd be out in public and someone would say, you're so-and-so's daughter, or, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Michalec, I never expected to see you in public. And there was always this idea that teachers sort of get rolled up and put into their filing cabinet and shaken out fresh the next day. And to kind of shatter that perspective and relate to each other as human beings, as collaborators, as people who have vested interest in these career spaces, really, it's fun to shatter that perspective and to help each other realize, like, oh, it's not just this role in this moment, that there are bigger life pictures going on. That's such a fun question, because my oldest nephew just started pre-K this year. And so we're kind of all in that mindset with him as he's learning about the ABCs and story time and all of those fun discoveries. I miss nap time. I really miss nap time. But I think in a bigger way, I miss that sense of discovery. I don't want to seem jaded, but when you're 5 years old and you're in kindergarten, everything's new and exciting. I have friends that are at Disney right now, and I just saw a video of their little guy meeting Mickey for the first time, and the wonderment. And so I think that wonderment of life, that ease of life, that safety and security that everything will be okay, that as we get older, we sort of realize we're the decision makers. We bear the consequences, and we don't always get a snack. Those are the things that I think, looking back, you know, you hear that book, Everything I Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. And maybe to an extent, there is some truth in that, because that wonderment of new experiences and being able to take things in and learn about things for the first time, that's exciting. And I think it's a challenge to do that as we get older.